She told me some friends were coming over with cocaine. And since they didn't know me, I needed to leave.
Recorded live from Studio 12A in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. You're listening to the Josh and Friends Podcast.
Thank you for tuning in to the Josh and Friends Podcast. I am your host. My name is Josh. And this week, the show welcomes back Jen Young to the program. And we'll be discussing a number of different topics, including a review of some of our trips from this past year, an article of some dating nightmares as told from the male perspective, and in honor of the latest Max documentary, we'll share our all-time favorite list of Yacht Rock singers. So grab a stiff cocktail, find a seat on the boat, and help me welcome back to the show the one and only Miss Jen Young. Jen Young! Back in the house!
Literally.
What's going on?
Just
full disclaimer, how many drinks in are you right now?
I'm about 5.
5 drinks in, all right. It's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good show, folks. Good stuff. What are we drinking?
Vodka sodas. With
Vodka
lots of
soda.
lime.
We got vodka soda, lime.
Yep.
All right.
Cheers.
All right, here we go. All right, welcome to the show, everyone.
Ooh.
So, this is the second to last episode of the year, and we had a pretty good year. What are the things that stick out this year that we did?
Did we do the Grand Canyon this year?
Yep. Yes. It was only a couple months ago.
We did the Grand Canyon this year, so that was a fun trip.
Yeah,
We drove Andy crazy.
Yeah.
Because we sang, or I sang, and he was not
Yeah,
having
it was
anymore.
like mock.
Yeah, ing, yeah,
Bird.
yeah.
And Andy's the guy in the middle.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Poor Andy.
oh man. this is
He's
gonna
good
be-
at putting up with us, though. He's used to it. I feel like now he's used to it. But I don't know, what else did we do this year? We didn't go on any trips. We didn't go, January, but that was
we
at
went
the beginning of the year. We went to Seattle.
Went to Oregon.
Went to Oregon. That was
to Vegas?
That was almost a year ago.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We did go to Vegas for Zoe soccer.
Yeah.
That was fun. Hanging out with all the soccer parents.
Yeah.
It was your first experience.
Yeah, it was weird.
With all those guys. It was weird. I just like it because I remember we would be in the casino and my drink would be empty and Josh would take my drink and he would disappear and I would have a new drink 20 minutes later.
It was amazing. 20 minutes.
I don't know how long it took. And the fact that you still found us in the casino was something too, because those places get so busy. It's how do you find, but we never moved either. So
Yeah.
we stayed in the same spot.
That's true. You moved a little bit, but that's the beauty of cell phones now.
Yeah.
Cell phones make it easier to find people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess we did Seattle and Oregon and then Vegas and then our Grand Canyon trip, but nothing
no
recent
out of
major-
country or
well,
anything
no,
like that. But I did get to see a bucket list item of mine, the Rolling Stones.
That's what was that this year too?
That was this year.
Can't even remember what we do. God. What month are we in again? No. That's right. The
It's
Rolling
December.
Stones.
It's December.
I know.
It's almost the new year.
That's crazy. No, the Rolling Stones were really good. It was interesting where they had it because you weren't too thrilled on the
I was not
acoustics.
happy with the sound as
Yeah.
most stadium concerts.
Yeah.
I'm not very happy with the sound
Yeah.
of these concerts, but it was fun to see Mick and Keith and
dancing.
Ronnie Wood running around.
he could still
Wow.
get down there.
He's
and
insane. He's insane.
80 years old, just
Yeah.
still dancing all the way down and full of energy. It was great.
Yeah, he's crazy.
It was fun. And we did that with Eric and Andy. That was fun.
You know, what is still burned into my head, it always comes up in my head, is the Pink Box Donuts
Oh, from Vegas.
in Vegas.
Oh, man.
Especially that peanut butter one.
Well, yeah, that one was like 10 pounds.
It was crazy.
Yeah, that one was that was a really good place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because we went to several donut places this year.
We did. That's like our thing, right? Like our thing is donut places.
Kinda
We did
is.
that in Seattle.
Yeah.
Like the Top Pot place was amazing.
Yeah.
It was way better than Voodoo in Portland.
Yeah.
I think Voodoo is more of like a novelty donut because those donuts were not that great tasting. But the Top Pot ones were probably my favorite.
Yeah.
But those pink box ones were pretty amazing.
Those were wild.
They were pretty good. Yeah, you were
definitely recommend.
Yeah, like definitely we will be going back again in March, so we'll get another donut.
Exactly. Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
We're gonna get a whole box of peanut butter donuts.
Yeah, great. Wonder how much weight I'll gain over there. You're always like the angel and then the devil, and you're always like the
You're like, oh,
you're like, "Oh, whatever. We're on vacation. I'm like, yeah. You say that every weekend though.
I know.
Okay. Now, so it's coming up on what, 5 years since we've been together here? What?
In April, yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And I always get these TikTok videos where people are talking about how bad dating is.
Yeah.
Right? And how horrible it's become with the dating apps and all this stuff.
Dating sucks.
Have you had any, like, I know that because you kind of like basically kind of jumped into relationships like right after another.
It was because it was crazy because I've been divorced since 2020, and then a month later I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try the whole online thing because when I was married for so long, and then I was with him since I was 19, so we didn't have, obviously back then we didn't have dating apps, and if we did, I didn't know about them.
Now, did you have, in your short dating world of experiences, did you have any crazy dating experiences?
I didn't go on dates because I'm not the type of person where I did the online dating, but I didn't go on dates. Like I'm not the type of person that likes to go out with just random guys, I guess.
Okay.
The messages alone just threw me off as not ever wanting to go out with anybody. Just the messages were the fact that, obviously they're messages, so it's like they're gonna say what they're gonna say,
right?
But that's
what I always hear from, like, that's one of my favorite things to hear from women is how crazy the messages are, and I'm like, what do they say? Like,
for me, it was
some guys are like really blunt, right?
Yeah, like for me, it was during COVID, so it was like some guy was like, "Wow, you make COVID look good," and I'm like, "What does that even mean? Like COVID? What does that mean? Like, what does it mean? I make COVID look good?
I make a once in a lifetime pandemic like look good. That's awesome. Thanks."
Or some other guy was like, who let you go? And I'm like, okay, well, it's not who let me go, it's I let go of somebody, right? Like, it's like I'm the one that wanted to leave, so I'm the one that let myself go, I guess. And then I think another one was like, why aren't you home, like on your queen chair? And I'm like, what?
Oh, God.
I was like, these are awful. So the dating scene online was not my thing. But then I met you online, and it took us a while to, get to that point. But I'm just
okay. You don't have, so I love reading about this stuff, and I know you probably do too, because like, who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
So I found this article, this lifestyle columnist named Fabrina Buontempo. Probably butchering her name. I don't even know her name. Anyway, she shared a bunch of mini stories from men about their first dating experiences with women that immediately had them saying, nah, that's not happening again. So basically they went on one date and they're like, what the hell is going on here? So I'm going to read off a few of these and then you could give me your thoughts. Okay. So the first story is this guy. He's like, I invited her over to the theater and a nice meal, trying to give her some conversation while she was on her phone the entire time. Then in the subway, she sits next to me, still texting, and I can't avoid quickly looking over at her phone. She was planning sex with another guy for that same night. It's funny, like out of all these, I read this to my brother and I go, that's why you never be the first date of the night.
No.
Come on, Lily, don't hate the player, hate the game.
I've known so many guys that just got played nonstop.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, the guy takes them out to eat or whatever, and then the girl's like, okay, thanks. And then they just like leave. And it's like, dude, why do you keep doing this? Like, you just keep doing this over and over. I'm like, are you hooking up with this girl? She's like, oh, no. It's like, we're taking it slow. You were taking it slow.
Yeah, she's clearly trying to
You
hook up
were
with
taking
somebody
it slow.
else.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's hilarious.
So
Like,
story number 2. So there's a few of these.
Yeah.
Story. I mean, and stop me if you get bored with these. All right. So
Is anyone ever bored with
I
these
know, right?
stories?
It's so
This
great.
is great. This is ridiculously fun. Let's do
Story
it.
number 2.
Okay.
In my mid-20s, I connected with a girl on Tinder. We had a few convos, and then I proposed meeting up for coffee after work. She was interested, but suggested trying a restaurant and grabbing dinner instead. Sounded good to me. She immediately ordered 2 appetizers, 2 entrees at dinner, because she was excited to try a few different things. She spent the entire night talking about her company, almost like a sales pitch, and nothing about herself or had any questions for me. I paid the bill without her objection while she boxed up all the leftovers to take home.
Of course.
I didn't hear from her again after that date. I didn't realize until about the trend of people using dating apps to get free meals.
Oh.
In hindsight, I wish I would have left in the middle of the day, but I was more confused than anything. I definitely had my guard up for the next following dates.
You know, I almost wish I was that type of girl who was like, yeah, let's go out and let's go to like an expensive restaurant and let's spend a lot of money and let's go have some fun. But I'm not. Like, I feel bad. Like,
I think
just
I've told you
wanna
this.
chill.
I used to work with a girl that used to do this all the
Yeah.
time. And she would propose it just like that. She'd be like, I'm hungry. I'm like,
But that's
and
what
I
they
just
do.
stare at her and go like, what do you, what? And
But
she goes,
that's what they do.
She goes, I think I'm going to hop on Tinder. And I'm like, you're hungry? Wait, you're hopping on Tinder because you're hungry? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, okay, keep going. I'm interested now. Now I'm interested. And then she'd be like, so and she would just flat out say I could go out every night of the week and have a guy take me out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
I don't have
And
that
you're cool with that?
conscience. Like, I
Right?
don't have it. Like, I can't do that. Like, I can't be like, oh yeah, we're going to go out
Right.
and I'm going to use a guy for food. Like, I can't, or drinks. Like, that's so weird to me.
Just wait until you meet Ted Bundy. I heard he's a good looking guy. Good looking guy. Yeah. All right. Story number 3. Story number 3, Jen. This is almost 10 years ago when I lived in Denver. I met a girl at an art festival one weekend. Oh, wow. An art festival.
Art festival.
We chatted and hit it off. I asked if she wanted to grab a drink or coffee or a beer one evening that week. So we ended up having a few beers at a brewery in my neighborhood. And then I thought, you know what? This chick's pretty awesome. So I was meeting friends later that night at a concert, and I asked this girl, hey, you want to join? And she said, yeah. So she came over to my house to hang out for an hour or so before we were going out to leave for the show. And while we were on my back deck, she casually pulls out a meth pipe and asks me, you get down? He's like, I've never noped
So fast.
out of something so fast in my entire life. And he goes, she was an art student at a really good college in Denver. Like, that fucking makes a difference. And she seemed so normal and nice the whole day until that happened. He was like,
Well, maybe that made her super artsy. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. But I was like, oh, have you ever had that kind of thing?
No. Mind you.
Mine are usually like normal stuff, like weed or like
Coke.
oh God. You know what's funny is until I moved to Phoenix, I've never been offered Coke. I've been offered Coke in Phoenix about 100 times.
I've never been offered, and I'm
See,
okay with that.
Yeah, I haven't taken anybody up on it, but in Seattle, it's all about weed. So it's like,
Yeah.
hey man, you know, it's like, but this is like apparently this is a Coke town, man. This
guess.
is a party town. There's like a bunch of drinkers here, so
Yeah.
gotta wake yourself up from all the booze.
I guess.
I mean, shit, booze is pretty much free here. Like, remember Ethan came to town and he was like, he goes, I was at Costco, and he's like, that giant bottle of Costco,
Yeah.
or that giant bottle of vodka,
Yeah.
and he's like,
It was
$12.
$12.99,
It's like, what? So
Yeah.
they're pretty much giving away alcohol.
Yeah. Well, here,
Yeah.
compared to where they are,
Oh.
right? And like even
Oh, yeah.
Seattle, because even Andy said
Yeah.
the same thing. Andy was like,
Yeah, it's
"Oh
like
my,
triple
like,
tax or something. Yeah. Yep.
And here it's like just $12.99 for like
Yeah,
a
people
giant bottle.
freak out when they
Yeah.
see that. Yeah. All right, story number 4. She told me some friends were coming over with cocaine. And since they didn't know me, I needed to leave.
this a date?
Yeah, that was it. That's the whole story.
What? Wow. Okay.
All right. Okay. Story number 5.
Some of these are wild.
I know, they're so great. I was like, I didn't pull all of them, but I pulled a few of them.
Yeah.
Story number 5. She was so awful to the wait staff, and that's just unsufferable to be around. He never went back. He's like, it's funny. I've had friends, not that I hang out with anymore, but they were always like the biggest asshole, and we'd always look at each other like, dude,
Like, why?
what are you doing,
Yeah.
man?
Unless they deserve it.
On any level, like first off,
Unless they deserve it.
first off, never fuck with people that are bringing
bring
you
you your
your food. Second off, like, do you realize how much shit they take all day anyways? Why are you piling on?
Yeah, like what's that movie with Ryan Reynolds and he works at a
Waiting,
restaurant?
Waiting.
Yeah, that movie is hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
that is why, like, the chick's just like, I'm not done. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Or like, yeah, this is not cooked right. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go take that back for you.
And doesn't he, like, I don't even remember what they do.
Oh,
like,
they
just
just-
like spit in
Yeah,
it.
just did a bunch of shit to it.
Oh,
It was like gross.
How intelligent do you have to be to take a food order?
I'm gonna get this fixed for you right away.
Good.
Some Fromunda cheese. Yeah, make us proud. Have a little garlic salt. Finally, a garnish of alfalfa sprouts. There you go.
Here you go, ma'am. Don't fuck with people that handle your food.
All right. That's why cops go to a Subway. So they could watch their food being made.
I was like, why?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can imagine you're like some criminal that just got out of fucking prison and you see a cop pull up like at a drive-through. He's like, I'm gonna fucking these motherfucking
He's gonna farm him.
pigs.
He's gonna do a farva.
Oh, fuck
He's gonna
these
do a
guys.
farva.
Or if it's the guy that actually put him, he
I want
arrested
a
him.
liter of cola and he puts the hole in it. Does that look like spit to you?
Oh, God. All right. Story number 6. There's only a few more here. Story number 6. This is during college, like 8 years ago. It wasn't a date, but kind of like a hangout in a public place. And she told me that she didn't wash her hair or body with anything but water and only showered once a week. He's like, I stayed around for the required hour and then I
required?
like there's a rule. And then he's like, I made up an excuse that I had to do homework. She invited me back to her dorm, but he's like, I was out. I'm like, I know a lot of guys that probably would have still, like, depending on the hotness of this chick.
Yeah. I mean, I don't wash my hair every day,
Yeah.
but I still take a shower with soap and water. Like,
Yeah. Right. But
water. But then they
Hey.
always say too, like, the soap damages your skin, so water should just suffice.
I see some
for
pretty
a
hot
shower.
hippie chicks back in the day.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know if she was.
hairy. Like, didn't-
Yeah. Yeah. What would you do if I didn't shower at all? I just like, what's funny is Adam Carolla said that he does it. He just rinses off.
It's funny is, not a lot of people know this, but I love smells. So the smell, like, you're always like, did you just smell me? I'm like, I did.
That's like a thing. Yeah.
It's my thing.
The
'cause
pheromones.
It's not just that. It's your scent. So it's like it's a comfort, right? Like you have that smell and it's like a comfort, like,
Yeah.
this is mine
Whoa.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's just like, I'm always smelling. So like, I don't know, like if you're not working out and doing crazy stuff and you just shower, rinse off, like I don't know, like.
All right. Well, maybe I'll try it. Maybe I'll start not showering. We'll try this out.
But I also don't see you often, so I wouldn't know anyway.
All right. Okay. Story number 7. You ready?
No.
Story number 7.
7.
We went to a nice restaurant and she ordered chicken wings. This is all about you. This is you. This is your story right here.
Love chicken wings.
She bit into each one of them once, right down the middle, and threw the rest away. I would say there's about 40 to 60% of the meat that is still left on each wing.
Okay.
I was disgusted. As a matter of fact, I was emotionally scarred from watching that. Who disrespects chicken wings like that? Such a waste. I still can't get over it to this day. I might consider therapy, actually.
I cannot agree more. I love chicken. Like, I love wings. And when Zoe and I go places and there's wings, or like Costco carries like this like drumstick meal. It's not a meal. It's just like a whole bunch of cooked drumsticks and like a seasoning, right?
Right.
You can get it from where they have the rotisserie chicken. So I would bring that home and like we would eat it and like she would eat it. And I'm like, Zoe, there's still chicken on the, like, what are you doing? Like there's still food on this chicken bone.
So you little monster.
Seriously, like that actually would irk me because I'm like,
when I was reading that, I was like, oh, that is Jen. That is Jen.
Like, I literally get every nibble of chicken on that bone. It's like, you know what? It's like when you eat a corn dog.
Yeah.
And like you eat the corn dog and like the end has that really crunchy part.
The burnt.
Yeah,
like...
you have to eat that part, right? Like I always have to eat the end part. And it's not even anything like, it's just the crunchy part.
Yeah.
God, that horror.
I told you that one would like upset you.
That one just kind of like.
I know.
It's kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. It like makes you twitch.
It
Right.
makes me
right.
like,
okay. Last of the stories here. Story number 8. She showed up with her 2 kids and the babysitter. They would sit at another table.
What? Why, they had a date?
And naturally, they expected me to pay.
Oh my God. The nanny and the...
Yeah. I left immediately. Can you imagine?
That would be like...
Wait, first off, what kind of loser... Do you not know she has like a bunch of kids and like what... You don't know the situation at all.
Like,
She just shows up and
bring the babysitter and the kids on a date. Like, that's weird.
I don't know, but that's why there's no second date.
That would be like if you and I had gone on a date and I had Zoe, because at the time she was 11, which is crazy because she's going to be 16. But like she was 11, so that would be like me hiring a babysitter and like us going to dinner and then her and somebody else.
I'd be like, see ya. Seacrest.
What the hell? Oh my gosh. You know, I sometimes wish I was really like different in that way if I were to date, because
it's crazy how bold people are, right?
I'm
almost like I'm fascinated. I'm curious. I'm like, I'm in a certain way, I'm kind of jealous of like how bold people are. Like,
I can't be like that. Like I have a conscience. Like I can't just like be like, yeah, I don't know. Cause you and I, like we met at a really weird time, obviously, because it was during COVID. So we met. I mean, what's your crazy dating story? Like, I know you probably have a crazy dating story. I don't have any because I was married for so long. So I literally don't have any dating stories because I was with my ex-husband since I was 19. So I have 0.
I remember this one girl, this one girl told me to meet at this bar down in Old Town. And you know how far Old Town is from here. It's like, you know, it's like a good, 40 minute drive. And God, I can't remember who was with me. We drove all the way down there and we just walk in and she's making out with some dude. And I'm like, that is amazing. I was like, all right, you ready to go?
That one should be on your list. That one should be on the list.
Right? I was like,
she was making out with another dude.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. And then it was funny because like, I go, she goes, you never showed up the other night. And I go, oh, I showed up. I showed up. She goes, you did? I go,
you had your tongue down.
You were making out with some dude. She goes, oh my God. And then she like erased me and blocked me on Facebook and stuff. I'm like, wait, why are you erasing and blocking me?
Wow.
Yeah, that's great. But anyway.
Is that the craziest thing you've had?
I don't know.
I know you always tell me like there was this one girl, she wanted to go to that like movie theater that was like super expensive. Where is that? Like, right? Like they always want to go to like these expensive places. I'm like, insert Jen. She doesn't want to do anything, and we share our food. Yeah,
she wanted to go to that movie theater that's like they serve you dinner and drinks and stuff like that. And I was like, what? And I was like, what is this? It's like fucking like $200. I was like,
oh God.
I mean, wait, are we guaranteeing something at the end of the night here, or is this like? Because I'm not one of these like suckers like some of my friends. Yeah. So
I think that's
I want to make sure that. something's happening here.
I think that's what makes us work, because we're equally the same in that aspect, but obviously different. But like when we go out, we literally try to find like not an expensive place, and then when we do eat, we like share a plate. I mean, because it's a lot of food.
Once in a great while, I don't know. It's just
I'm not into like fancy stuff. Like I don't need to like go to a fancy restaurant and spend a bunch of money when I don't know. I'd rather spend money somewhere else.
So
it's funny.
Yeah. So
I wish I had crazy dating stories. I'm so sorry to let you down, everybody.
All right, well,
in my wild high school years, I did not have any dating stories because I wasn't allowed to date till I was 16, but I did anyway.
There's like you could put a link to that episode on shutting down.
Oh God, the frat
fraternities
house.
And all right, okay. I saw this recent 60 Minutes clip of Kate Winslet. You know Kate Winslet from Titanic, right? And they were asking her about Titanic and how she was like fat shamed.
Yeah.
And I was like, I
don't think,
what's funny?
Think of her fat.
You know what's funny is like, I was like, I remember this. Like, I remember them talking about this back in the day. And I was like, did I watch the same movie? I'm like, I don't even think she was fat. Like remotely. I just thought she was like a normal chick.
Yeah.
Cause like there's some people there, like, Kathy Bates, she's a big girl.
Yeah. Not anymore, but yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's big people, out there, and I never thought of her as being, but anyway.
Not in that movie, no.
While Titanic made Winslet a star, she says it came at a cost. Just listen to how she was ridiculed for her weight.
Kate's a little melted and poured into that dress, and she just needed 2 sizes large and it would probably have been okay.
It's absolutely appalling. What kind of a person must they be to do something like that?
Did you ever get face-to-face with any of those people?
I did get face-to-face.
What did you say?
I let them have it. I said, I hope this haunts you.
I actually like seeing people, like normal people, in roles in TV and movies because it's more realistic.
Yeah.
If I see like some fucking model that is supposed to be like this forensic scientist, like on these like shitty CBS shows, and I'm like, okay, now I'm just thinking about like how ridiculous this casting is. It's like those super hot models are not.
They're not forensic.
They're
detectives.
They're not scientists. I'm sorry. You might see an attractive woman that is like a
Are you guys
super
shocked?
smart. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
I know. I would have never thought Titanic she was fat. Like I would like a normal sized person. I mean, but that's Hollywood though for you too.
I guess.
Like, everybody's like expecting you to be like a certain size. And and that's not always the case until, this year or even last year when, Ozempic and all those shot weight loss
now
things.
everyone's
now
like super skinny. You're
yeah.
like, oh yeah, okay.
That's what I'm
happened
saying.
here?
Like everybody like took the easy route, which is fine. I mean, it is what it is. But I would have never thought she was fat either in Titanic.
Isn't that weird? Yeah. Well, in other news, Jen, you remember the show? You remember the show Family Matters?
Yes.
Yeah. What's Family Matters known for? Urkel. Thank you.
I had to really think about it. I was like, gosh, that was so long ago.
Jen, are you sexually attracted to Urkel?
What? Have you seen Urkel in Family Matters?
Well, Jen.
Because now, Jamal, what's his name?
Jaleel White.
I was close. Yeah. Like now he's like some buff flirt, like he's fit. Like he's not a
he filled out a little
dork.
bit, right.
Yeah, he's not like dork anymore.
Well, he's coming out with this new memoir.
Oh, he's got a memoir.
And it's called Growing Up Urkel. Where he recalls executives telling him to ditch his signature suspenders.
Okay.
And his high-waist jeans.
Okay.
And this was like season 8.
Okay, I was gonna wait. How many seasons?
I don't even know.
There was a season 8.
There's a reason for that. It's because the bulge in his pants.
Oh God.
Needed to be better hidden. They're like, we need to have you start wearing looser jeans.
Oh my God.
And he was also I guess it was like physically painful for him to, keep speaking in the way of like that. Yeah,
like that weird, like.
Yeah, the iconic Urkel voice.
Yeah.
Did I do that? 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 Did I do that?
Which, by the way, kind of funny for the first season,
It just gets tiring.
It was
and
just
old, like.
yeah.
Well,
But-
I don't know.
But I'm like, I don't know. I was like thinking about this. Like, so basically, what they're essentially saying that he had a big old schlonger.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean.
And
okay.
So does this change your views on Urkel? No. Well, you know who else had that kind of that rumor going around was Dustin Diamond.
Oh.
Come on, Kelly. Who are you thinking about? Is he cute? Screech.
Okay, so
is it all the super nerdy guys that like, dude? Maybe God has to compensate.
yeah,
They're like
for the ugliness. So
they're like, listen, we're gonna make you a fucking raging dork.
yeah, but we're gonna give you a big dick.
But you'll have a big schlonger.
I get it.
I remember Urkel, or not Urkel. God damn it, Screech.
Screech.
He was talking to Howard Stern one time, and he was like, yeah, sometimes when I'm taking a deuce, he's doing number 2, and he goes, I have to hold my wiener so it doesn't hit the water.
What?
I didn't make this up. He said this.
No.
And then of course Howard's like, God, I wish I had that problem.
Right. No. So I actually met Screech because he went to one of our high school dances, and he is in my yearbook. And I think it was 94. I think it was.
Really?
Yep. So there's a picture of him.
Do you have a picture with him?
No, I don't have a picture with them, but in the yearbook, it has like the girl that he went with and like Screech. It was
Maybe
hilarious.
you could check with her and
I don't even
verify
know.
it.
I don't know who she is. Like I don't. I mean,
Oh, okay.
Screech, rest in peace.
Oh, yeah,
I know.
yeah.
He died.
All right.
I don't know. But anyway,
Do we need to refill your drink over here?
probably
All right,
number
well-
6.
All right, let's take a commercial break.
We're
We'll be
taking
right back.
commercial break. We'll be
Next time you come back for an original taco at Taco Bell, there's something you should know. Oh, we've still got the taco you've always loved. Haven't changed a thing, except the price. Because from now on, our original tacos are just 59 cents. Still just as good as ever for just 59 cents at Taco Bell, where the best food meets an even better price. And that keeps you coming back for more. Make a run for the border!
It's the invasion of the Super Geeks. Spend 2 full hours with 2 really weird guys. Urkel and Screech on Saved by the Bell and Family Matters, 5:05 Eastern weekdays on TBS.
Okay, so we recently watched the documentary. That's why we're here. The documentary was Yacht Rock, a documentary. Basically, it talks about the origins of Yacht Rock.
I wish they would have gone more in depth about it, though, because
Yeah. Oh, it could have been like a series.
Yeah.
They should have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch the original 2005 skit when it came out? Do you remember that when it came out?
Oh, hi. I'm Hollywood Steve. You caught me relaxing in my music nook. From 1976 to 1984, the radio airwaves were dominated by really smooth music, also known as yacht rock.
It was just a horrible, dumb skit. But I remember when it came out, and I was like, this is awesome. This is like something like my buddies and I would do, some dumb skit, And that skit is the basis of what the entire genre actually became because...
Is that what they were showing?
Yes.
Okay, so I didn't realize that when we were watching it because I never had seen that.
Yeah, so
I
I'll
was
have to show it to you. Yeah,
Okay.
but basically it's like these guys that were just kind of like talking about, music. Like it was like, Kenny Loggins.
Yeah.
and
Michael McDonald.
and all those guys. But then they were like,
Christopher
they were like
Cross.
kind of like, yelling at like Hall & Oates and stuff. And it was pretty funny. Now, it's funny that spun off this entire genre. Like it's pretty crazy. And so what were your thoughts like on the documentary as a whole? Cause like, I learned a few things, but I
just enjoyed it because it's literally the music that I probably love the most.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Soft rock and that kind of jazzy.
Yeah. And I didn't really learn a whole lot, only because like I knew of all of these artists already, so it's not like anything was new. I just wish they went into more in depth.
They're all in your
I just feel like I know. But I just feel like I wish they had gone more into not just like Michael McDonald talking with Christopher Cross. Like, I wish it was just more of like other people with that type of music.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's so many people that have that type of music.
Right.
It's just that those people, like those ones that were in the documentary, were more yacht rocky than I guess the rest.
So these guys actually created a website, and it's basically called, it's like Yacht or Not.
That's awesome.
And what they do is they grade all these different songs that people think are like yacht rock songs, but so it's like 3 guys. They basically, I'm guessing it's the guys that came up with the thing. It's kind of cool, but basically they grade each one. And so you could go through the categories and like do it by artist, by title, and you could even do it by what's the most yacht rock and what's the least yacht rock.
Okay.
Right?
That's kind of cool.
So they combine their 3 scores,
Yeah.
and it comes up with like, 84% yacht rock, right? And then, the most obvious, like the number 1 yacht rock song of all time, I think, is What a Fool Believes. I think that's what they have. What a fool believe, and
although I wouldn't think that, but
well, yeah. So I just think it's funny that these guys are so passionate about what is yacht rock and what is not yacht rock.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get confused because, they'll think like Jimmy Buffett is yacht rock, but Jimmy Buffett is not yacht rock. And they talk about that and they're like, no, because that's down in the, that's in the Atlantic, down in the Caribbean. That's that kind of music. And then like people will say like, they'll name like New York bands and they're like, no. It has to be more like California kind of vibe. And, kind of like that jazzy, soft rock kind of
just
chill,
feel. Like,
yeah. So they're very, very specific. It has to be like soulful singers.
Yes.
Soulful singers.
Yep.
So basically, I think they said that the music is generally between the years of 1976 to 1984 are the big years, like the big years for yacht rock. And
I can see that.
Yeah. And the name was inspired by Loggins and Messina from their album
with the yacht when they're
Full
on the boat.
Sail.
Yeah.
Which I almost bought. I didn't.
I was like, did we have that?
I don't have that, but I have the most.
I like how I put "we" in there. Do we have that?
I do have the most famous yacht rock album, which is right there. Can you grab that one?
This one.
This is like this is one of the most famous ones.
Steely Dan.
Yeah, the Asia by Steely Dan. That album's amazing. So
who doesn't like Steely Dan? Like,
that's a great album.
You just need to stop listening to this podcast if you don't like yacht rock.
Yeah, that one and Christopher Cross's first album are monsters.
gosh,
But all these are like yacht rock albums. So, but so. These guys are super strict about this, and I think it's funny that I don't know if it was kind of like a joke or if it was like tongue in cheek, but Donald Fagen of Steely Dan, when he was like, basically that was my favorite part was when he's like, because he seemed kind of annoyed that he was clumped in with the yacht rock genre.
I was wondering if you'd sit down with me and talk about your music in this genre.
And what genre is that?
Yacht rock.
I tell you what. Why don't you go fuck yourself?
That was probably my favorite part of the documentary itself.
I liked learning just about everything, but I definitely liked that Michael McDonald and Christopher Cross came and like interviewed together, and like,
it shows
they were like,
I've seen those guys in so many different interviews, and they're just genuinely nice guys.
Yeah, they're
like good-hearted. They're like they get it. They're like. Hey, basically, how could you not? In my opinion, it's like, dude, if anything promotes people to buy our music more or to just, enjoy our music more or like, there are so many bands now that go out and like, remember you sent me one the other day.
Yeah.
There's like all these like yacht rock cover bands. They go out and they're like, it's basically everyone just wears these hats and everything. It's like a big party and they just like sing all these like the greatest hits of all these like songs. I'm like, That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Well, we're
gonna have to go to one of these, right?
Well, they're coming. Like I sent you guys.
There's a couple of them. I've seen a couple of them. There's a couple shows coming up.
Always here, and I was like, okay, we have to go. And I think the one that is in January. But I think what I liked most about the documentary is when Michael McDonald was talking, and he was saying when Saturday Night Live did the skit with Rick Moranis, and he had to keep going back.
That was
it Saturday Night? What was
no,
it?
that was SETV.
SCTV. So
The
like
Canadian,
he had to,
yeah.
So he had to keep going back into the studio, and he's like,
so great.
Thanks a lot, man. I'll probably need you next week. I'll give you a call.
Okay. See ya.
They're having him do the backup vocals for Christopher Cross.
Yeah. And then he was like, no, he's like, they thought that I would be offended by it. But he was like, I was actually honored because like they were talking about my music and they were still
because Rick Moranis came out and he goes, hey man, sorry,
yeah,
or whatever.
Like,
and he's like, oh no, it's like hilarious. What are you talking about? So like,
and that skit is so great.
If he told him that he loved it way back in the day, you know that he doesn't give a shit about being Yacht Rock now. Cause like, that's hilarious.
It's hilarious because he like
so funny.
He's in the studio and then he like does the scene and then he comes out and he's like, was that good? And then they're like, yeah. And then he goes and then like the whole thing and then he goes back.
Got such a long way to go. He goes, such a long way to go. And it's like so great.
It's so great.
He is like by far like because Steely Dan, they put him. That's how he kind of like got discovered originally. I think is like they had him like singing background vocals and stuff like on their albums, and like. It's like it's such a classic voice.
It's,
you know?
Well, you hear that and you know who it is. Like if you, I mean, he just has that.
There's this guy on Howard Stern. He's like this black guy, Rasan, and he's like he always talks about. He goes, God. He goes, Michael McDonald. He goes, listen, I'm not a big fan of like white guys like music and stuff like that. He goes, but probably because Michael McDonald's Blue-Eyed Soul. But he like is that because he sounds like a black guy? Like if you never heard or if you never saw a picture of him, you'd be like, oh, it's a black guy. Like it's a black guy.
Yeah, my favorite part whenever I watch stuff online is when people do like blind reactions to music that they've never heard, and then they realize
supposedly,
and they realize that it's a white guy, and they're like, what?
Oh yeah, like when they did the.
My brother posted this morning, and after 34 years, I'm just finding out that the man that sings "What You Won't Do for Love" is white. I called out of work today. I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what's real, what's not. I just got to get myself together. I feel thrown off.
Oh, Bobby Caldwell.
Oh yeah,
that was the guy. Yeah, because that's a very famous clip. The guy's like, wait a minute, what the?
Yeah.
He goes, I am like 40 years old, and I just realized
that this guy is not.
You know what's funny is like when I first saw that clip, and I was like, wait, I don't know if I was aware of that.
Yeah, maybe people listening to this don't know that, and they just know it. They just found out right now.
Yeah, there you go. You're
welcome.
So, Jen, what we're gonna do, because you are the queen of Yacht Rock. This is your genre. So
this is so much.
This is your chance to shine.
Don't get me wrong. I love all kinds of music.
Right.
I love it all. But
right.
this type, like I love the soft 60s. I love the soft 70s, like the 80s. Like I love, like I love it.
Yeah.
Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
So what we're going to do is we're going to count down your top 3 favorite Yacht Rock singers. Now, these are not necessarily the most iconic bands or artists of the era. These are your top 3 singers, right?
Oh.
Okay. So now, do we have a runner-up? Do we have a runner-up on this?
I have a lot of honorable mentions.
Oh God, okay.
So I have 5.
Oh great, it's gonna be like Ethan.
No. I have Ethan right there. So no, I have 5.
All right.
So I have my top 3 and I have my honorable mentions. I have 5 honorable mentions. So we'll count down. You said I could have 5. Do you know how hard this was for me?
All right.
This was so hard.
Okay, well, hey. All right. So
hard.
Listen, I'm not trying to stress you out here. I'm just trying to have fun.
This hurt my brain.
Yeah, well.
My brain.
Ethan and Lee do this to me all the time.
I don't know how you guys do it.
I don't either.
Much respect to Ethan and Lee because I don't even
okay. So
love you guys.
All right. All right, so Jen, what do you have for your runner-ups? Like, let's hear these suckers.
My honorable mentions?
Yeah.
Okay. So I wrote these down because I didn't want to forget. Okay, so I'm going to start with number 5.
Okay.
And work my way up, okay? So number 5.
Now, wait. So these are you have 5 runner-ups or like honorable mentions. Okay. So this isn't even your like list yet.
No.
These are just, oh, Jesus. All right. Okay,
Hey,
let's
you wanted this.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Do you have any honorable mentions?
Well,
is it just me?
Well, I could pick out some of mine, but this is mainly
Okay.
this is your deal here.
Okay,
This
so
is your show.
My number 5 is Jim Seals.
Darling, if you want me to be closer to you, get closer to me.
Oh, okay.
I love Seals and Croft, but like it's crazy. It's just his voice to me is just so, I don't know, just this was so hard.
They had some big hits.
Great
That's
songs.
some big hits, yeah.
Great songs. Okay, number 4 was Boss Skaggs.
You better come on back around to the sad old truth, the dirty love down.
This one was really hard because I love this guy.
Yeah.
Like,
And you know what's funny is that this album right here,
yeah. Oh, see, look at
that album right there is essentially the birth of Toto. Because it's the entire Toto band is like playing on that album, and it's like, man, you listen to that album, you're like, fuck, this sounds great, and you're like, oh, it's Toto. You look at the background, you look at the credits, and you're like, holy shit, this is Toto. Yeah. So
I mean, how can you not?
Yeah,
it's great.
It's good stuff.
So this is not just
Low
this
Down.
love that song.
Lido Shuffle. Yeah.
Oh, I love it all. My number 3 is not a person, but it's a band.
Okay.
And it is
Ooh, Steely Dan. Steely Dan.
Take off your high heel sneakers, it's party time.
Steely Dan.
I love Steely Dan. So this makes me laugh because I saw a clip. I don't remember where I saw it, but I think I saw it on Facebook. And it was a person, they left their dog in the car. And no, listen.
Starts out great here.
No, so listen, they left their dog in the car, and the note on the window said, "Don't worry, the AC is on, and he is listening to Steely Dan." I died. I was like, that is the best note on a car I've ever seen.
It's pretty good.
Don't worry, he's listening to Steely Dan.
Oh,
like,
that's pretty
he's
good.
fine.
Oh,
I
that's
thought
awesome.
it was so great. I thought it was so great.
Wait, where did you see this note?
On Facebook.
Okay.
I don't know. Someone just like posted it, like just
All right.
because you know, like people get all like, because dogs in cars, it
Well,
gets
bash
hot.
out their windows, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, but this one was like, the car is on, the AC is on, and he's listening to Steely Dan. He's okay. It was great. It was great.
That's awesome.
My number 2 is this one was hard because I couldn't decide if I wanted America or Ambrosia, and I was like,
Ambrosia.
And which is like every time I think of Ambrosia, I think of like the rice.
Yeah, right.
you get at the store. But I did pick America for number 2.
You know what's crazy is like because America has like 3 legitimate lead singers that sing kind of like equal amounts
Yeah.
of their songs. So yeah,
I feel
that's
like
why.
that's a lot of these bands. Like it's hard to
Yeah,
pick
some
just
of them.
one.
Yeah.
Like it's not just one person. Like
Yeah.
it's, you know.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah. But Ambrosia, like I love
Oh yeah.
that
I know
that
you're
one
always
is-
like, oh my gosh, you're the biggest.
Oh
part of-
man, it was hard. My number 1 for my honorable mentions is Robbie Dupree.
I love that song. Like
Steal Away.
Yes.
Yeah, like, and I love that one.
And it's funny because like
I just
when they played in that documentary, that kind of like that clip of like how all those bands started like doing that kind of signature sound of
Yeah.
the Doobie Brothers.
Yeah.
And it was like ding 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 ding, and then it was like they played like so many clips. That was probably my favorite part of the documentary, and I was like, dude, that's pretty awesome because like they played the Robbie Dupree one,
Yep.
but it's like, oh, it's such a good song.
I love
Why
that
don't you
song.
steal away?
Oh, I love that
It's so
song.
good.
I love that song. I just love this music.
And there's and that guy has a bunch of other songs too, but they never get played. It's just
Yeah.
that song pretty much.
Well, I mean, it's like the most popular, so it's
Mhm,
what everybody
mhm.
knows.
Yeah. So that was that's your top 5.
That is my honorable mention.
Okay, those are your those are
Not
your
my
honorable-
top 5. Those
All
are
right,
my
so-
honorable mentions.
All right, so here we go. Now we are down to the was it top 3?
Yep.
Okay, now we
Oh
have
my
the
god, this was so hard. This stressed me out.
Gosh, man.
Mind you, I did this like all at work because I was like in between.
All right,
I was like, I was working and then I'd have them on in the background in my ear and I was like, I'm listening to it, but I'm also trying to like work at the same time.
So,
and I'm like, oh.
So what do you have? What do we have here? What's
Just
number
like
3?
that?
What is number 3?
What's your number 3?
Oh, do you want me to play? So you want me to like do mine too?
Yes.
All right, I'll do.
Why am I doing this by myself?
All right.
Please tell me, everybody.
Okay.
Well, are you saying you didn't do this and it's just my top 3?
Well, I picked some out, but I just wanted to.
Okay, so we're doing this together.
All right.
You and me. Me and you.
Make a wish, baby. All right. Okay, so if I had to do my top, like, just the singers, right? Just the singers. Okay. I would say maybe I really like, I guess I would do as so I just have one runner up.
Not 5.
Well, I'm not going to, listen, let's not get crazy here.
I don't understand.
I'm
offended that you don't have more than 4.
I'll do.
Just what's your number 1 runner up?
I will do Donald Fagen of Steely Dan.
West on Sunset to the sea.
But now as a band,
yeah,
they're probably number 1. You know what I mean? As far as like the best music, the best hits, the amount of like songs and everything like
vocalist,
that.
So
right.
It's,
Now he has a unique vocal style, but you know, he's just, the other guys just have like better vocals for me, like that.
Yeah.
I tend to like the vocalists that, for me, like that I could like sing or emulate or sing in karaoke. So, all right. So what is your number 3, Jen?
Let's bust out the karaoke.
Oh, let's do
My
it.
number 3.
Yep. Here we go.
You're going to be really surprised.
All right. What do we have?
And I only say that because, okay, so everyone don't hate me.
I don't think anybody's going to hate you for
I know,
this.
but like,
this is your list.
No, this is a no judging zone.
Nobody's judging.
Okay. So my number 3 is Michael McDonald.
There you go.
And the only reason I say that is because he does have one of those like very distinctive voices.
Yeah.
Because you hear his voice, you know who that is, right?
Right.
But I also think it's overplayed. Like it's one of those things where it's like you hear it all the time and it's just like, okay, well,
yeah.
Like, you know, it's like that kind of like music. I love him. But I just think, but for Yacht Rock, he's like a perfect.
I'll tell you this. When I think I don't know if it was on was it on the Doobies Greatest Hits? I don't know if it is, but maybe it was on the Doobies Greatest Hits or Greatest Hits Volume 2. I can't remember. Anyway, I got the Doobie Brothers Greatest Hits, like, you know, from like the BMG thing or whatever, because I was like, oh man, I love that song. Listen to the music. Oh my God, it's so good. And I ordered their Greatest Hits and I was so confused. I was like, what the hell is this? And like when his songs came out, I was like, the fuck? It sounds like a different band. You're like, because you're like listen to the music and Blackwater and China Grove and all these like song like these like rock songs. You're like, oh man, these are fucking so good. And then you're like, and I'm like, what the? What is that? It was like taking it to the street. It was like, what? I mean, what is this? Like, so
It's like he has that very distinctive voice. It's not like
I'll be honest with you. Back in the day, I was not even a fan. I was like, what is this? Like, I don't know. Because like, maybe it's because like, let's
do that in karaoke.
It keeps you running. It keeps you running. And I'm like, what is this? This isn't like listening to the music. Like, what is this?
Oh God.
I don't know. But I will say that I really fucking like that music.
Right.
But I just consider it a different band. So if you can, because I don't even know if has an other band fucking changed that much? Because basically what happened was Tom Johnston, the lead singer, he got sick. He had to fucking leave. So they're like,
we need
what
somebody.
do we do? Like, do we just quit? Or like, what do we do? And then like, you know, maybe Steely Dan's like, we got this guy. That, Skunk Baxter, I guess, was the kind of like the branch. He was like this. He was their kind of like guitarist guy that played in Steely Dan.
Yeah.
And he was also in the Dewey Brothers. So anyway, he's like, well, I fucking know this guy that can sing. It's very different, but
very different.
Yeah. So like, but if you separate the two, like as I did,
yeah,
and you're like, okay, these are two different bands,
yeah,
right? So fantastic.
Yeah.
So, and I really love him singing backup vocals.
Yeah.
Fucking love him singing backup vocals.
So
anyway,
who's your number 3?
Well,
did you do a 1?
No. So wait. So wait. Oh yeah. So we're on my number 3, right? That was actually my number 3 as well.
Michael McDonald.
Yes. Just because of that, because like I think now if he's probably my favorite backup vocalist, right?
That's hilarious.
Because it got such a long way to go.
Such a long way to go.
Such a long way to go. That was like my favorite song to sing with Velasco. So I would sing these. I would always do the Christopher Cross because I was like, I could sing the high stuff, and like, and then he would come in with the such a long way to go, and it was great. Anyway,
right, so that was your number 3.
That's also my number 3. Yes.
Okay.
So
that's
who is your number?
interesting.
Who is your number 2?
My number 2. So my number 2 is Christopher Cross.
Sailing takes me away.
Obviously, like his one record was the biggest hit, right, for him.
It's
Like,
it's ridiculous.
He had so many hits. I mean, I don't know how many hits he had on that record, but
There's like 4.
yeah.
And
it's
two
not
of them
a
were
lot,
two of them were monster
yeah.
hits.
So but it's funny because like when you think of Yacht Rock, for me, I automatically think of Michael McDonald and Christopher.
Yeah,
Cross.
there's
because they like
sing,
go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So it's just like, but for me to put him at number 2, I just feel like his voice is so like, it's like so sultry.
Mm-hmm.
And when he did that album, I love his voice in that album. Like it just made me feel, feel good. Like he's just like,
I think they call him the first artist that was the victim of MTV.
Oh.
Because remember, he came out with that album. I think that came out in, I think it was like late 79.
Yeah.
And then it won like album of the year.
Like it won a ton of awards.
New artist of the year.
Yeah.
Won song of the year. Like it was just like this giant album. And then, and that was like in 1980 or whatever.
Yeah.
Or 1981 or whatever. MTV comes out and then he comes out. So he comes out with another song that, when you get caught in New York City.
Yeah. Such a good one.
And,
that's a good one too.
Yeah. And then, so that came in 81.
Yeah.
Right. So in August of 1981, MTV comes out. And they're like, well, let's put Christopher Cross on MTV. And when people are like, oh God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What happened? Who's this guy?
Well, it's really sad because he's not like like the guy that you think is singing these songs.
Because he sings like an angel.
Yeah.
And you're like,
but he doesn't
oh my
look
God.
like you would think he would sing.
He looks like, some
just random
some
guy.
pudgy guy with like wearing a jersey. You're like, what? What's going on here? Who's this guy?
I mean, you can't not love the song Sailing. Like
Yeah.
it's so iconic. It's iconic.
It's fantastic.
Like What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Kenny Loggins. I love Kenny Loggins. It's not cool to like Kenny Loggins until now with Yacht Rock. It was never cool to like Kenny Loggins, but you know what? I like Kenny Loggins. I like
okay.
You have the iconic well this isn't like his
No, he's had others.
But you know what? I mean, shit, all throughout the 80s he had all those soundtrack songs and
Yep.
I don't know. I always like Kenny Loggins. He's not, it's just like, again, I keep going to those voices that I can kind of like emulate. So he's kind of like that range.
Kinda, yeah.
Where I can kind of sing.
Yeah.
I probably could not sing Michael McDonald.
Maybe you could.
Such a long way to go. Such a long way to go.
I might be able to do that.
So yeah, no. So that's my number 2 is Kenny Loggins. Who's your number 1?
Kenny Loggins.
Go!
And the only reason is because when I think of Kenny Loggins, it's like when he sings, it's so simple and there's literally no effort. It's so soulful, and he just like, he has so many songs, and like he's done so many like movies where you're just like, oh, and
Yeah.
it's crazy, but like I love the album with like Pooh Corner, like I love that too. So it's just like, you know,
have you ever seen Kenny Loggins live?
No.
He's fantastic. He's actually really good.
I'm sure he is. Like, and he probably still is. But yeah, Kenny Loggins is my number one. I just think like he is like, it's fun and his songs are fun and there's literally no effort when he sings. Like it's.
I saw Kenny Loggins with Michael McDonald.
Oh, I'm
once.
sure you did. Well, you know, we almost saw Michael McDonald a couple years ago.
Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that.
So yeah, Kenny Loggins is my number one. I just I enjoy his music probably more so than Christopher Cross and Michael McDonald. Like that's why he's my number one. Like
yeah, he has good songs.
He does.
He has good songs.
Yeah.
And you know, with the band Loggins Messina is fantastic as well.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s, they were known for having like a really tight, good live band. And if you ever listen to the live album, I can't remember the name of it is. It's really like super, super good. I remember I was listening to it. They have like a 20-minute song on there, and I'm like, it's like a really good song. It's like a really, really good song.
And I love long music. Like
I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to send it to you. It's super good though. Anyway.
So yeah, that was my number one. What is your number one?
Well, it's obviously Christopher Cross. Christopher Cross. We swapped out the Christopher Cross. I think that first album, like you were talking about, it's just so too good.
Yeah.
And
but no, so you say that because he has one album, but like I feel like the only reason I chose Kenny Loggins is because he has more songs.
If we were
like,
doing that, then I'd go with Steely Dan.
Steely Dan, yeah.
You know, but I was going by just the voice. Like that voice is just so nutty.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the amount of hits.
Yeah. And it's not even just that. Like, I just love Kenny Loggins' voice. Like, I'd like it just, I don't know, it resonates with me more.
Jen, whenever I call you friend. Yeah. No.
I do love that, like, our top three, though, are like kind of like,
I mean, equally
the same, but different. And different numbers.
Now, I've discovered there's like, so I started going through that list of Yacht Rock.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. And these guys compiled a ridiculous list of the amount of songs on this list that are Yacht Rock songs are so long and like it's there's hundreds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've found that there are some of these guys that are on this list that are amazing. Like there's this one guy, I don't think I put him on the list. Anyway, there's this guy, I was like reading reviews. I was like, wow, I can't believe this guy wasn't like big. He's kind of like, it's probably because it came out during the MTV era. And he looks like some like, he's balding and he's like,
like another Christopher Cross.
He kind of looks like Christopher Cross, or no, he looks worse than Christopher Cross. So it looks like some guy that like maybe did your taxes or something, So it's not really, you could see why he wasn't big during that era, but you're like, oh fuck, these are great songs, man. These are, and they even write that they're like, he should have been like kind of like a Christopher Cross as far as how good these songs are. They're that good. And I was like, man, these are really good songs, but it's just how it was in the 80s.
Yeah.
If you were not like a
hot,
if you weren't Duran,
yeah,
it's like, all right, okay, well, so, okay. Now, a lot of these songs are kind of like guilty pleasure songs, right? So like, well, for a lot of people, for Jen, like, no, they're like my fucking livelihood.
Like
what are you talking about? Yeah.
Love these songs.
And everyone has these songs
pleasures.
that, everyone has these songs that we love. One of my big ones, my guilty pleasure song. What is it, Jen? What's my big guilty pleasure song?
Michelle Branch everywhere. 'Cause you're
Hey, listen, some people are like really embarrassed to like admit like their guilty pleasure songs. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
I remember when you told me that the first year, was it the first year that?
Probably. You're like,
the first
Michelle Branch?
Everywhere? I didn't even like that song. But
how dare you?
But I just love it that I found it like on a single CD and I like gave it to you for Christmas.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? You wrapped it. I opened it up and I was like, you just bought me the single of
Oh my God, the single of his favorite song.
It's a great pop song. It's a great pop song. It is. It's kind of like Andy had this TikTok the other day, and it was that I always pull this out. The CD, and it's the Natalie and Imbruglia, and you're like, what is that? What is that? I don't even know who that is. And I go, you know who this is. You know who this is. And you're like, I don't know who this is.
Okay,
like,
so we had so I never know who it is, but I know the song.
That's
and
true.
I know the words.
That's true.
So
Torn.
It's one of those things where it's like, Josh is like, well, who is this? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I was like, but I know the song. I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
But I'm getting better.
You are. You are.
When we're in the car.
I mean, you have no choice. You hang out with me.
I know. But like when we're in the car, I'm like, wait, I got it. And I like totally say who it is. And then I'm like all excited and proud of myself. So stupid.
That is totally true.
But like, I'm getting better. But I know most of the words to all these songs.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's what like surprises Andy. Andy's like, how do you fucking know?
Oh yeah. No. Andy and I, we cannot believe how good you are with lyrics. We're like, how do you know all these songs? Like you're the opposite of me. I don't know any lyrics, but I know all the details of the songs. I'm like, yeah, that came out in 1978. Like, well, who doesn't know that? Like, well, and you're like, what?
You know, part of it, I think too, because like growing up, like being at the school that I was at, it was a performing arts school. So you had to memorize a lot of lines. So like when I was in drama class or when I was in choir and I had to do a song, like you had to memorize the song. So, and when you got a CD, like when I would listen to the CD or the tape, I would read the lyrics as they were being played so that I would remember the words.
Right.
I'd pick up on it. It's like names. Like when Andy and I used to work together, he'd be like, who is that? And I'd be like rattling off like all these people. He's like, how do you know?
Yeah, I was like, what?
People? It's just like, it's a
weirdo.
It's like, I just have all these like names in my head, but like lyrics. But yeah, like I could just hear a song and just know it right after I hear it the first time.
Well, the reason I bring up these guilty pleasure songs, this is hilarious. I was reading. So
what if I have any guilty pleasure songs?
Yeah, but
I love all
it's usually
music.
it's usually guys, because guys are always in the closet with like pop songs and like soft rock songs. You know what I mean?
Did Josh just say he was in the closet? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Like Lee. Lee is always kind of like, Lee's confusing though, because Lee's kind of like he was always like, Lee was always kind of like he'd like,
he loves some Kelly Clarkson.
Hardcore metal, and then all of a sudden he'd be like,
I pay attention.
Yeah, I love Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly
Clarkson? What though? On the last pod that you guys did though, like he was even saying, he was like, oh, this chick is from American Idol. Like she's not going to be that great because her mic was off and she couldn't, like the whole music thing was off and she just like belted out like the music. And he was like, wow, she's really good. And she is really good. She's an excellent singer.
Yep.
Like she can just sing on the fly. So sorry, love you, Lee.
so you know who the band The Who, right? So the guy that writes all the songs, like legit all their songs, Pete Townshend.
Okay. Yep.
He is like the guitarist. He sings occasionally on their songs, but Roger Daltrey mostly sings almost all the songs. Anyway, Pete Townshend, his daughter outed him for being a fan of some classic pop artists from back in the day, which is funny because Pete Townshend is like, he is known for like ripping on a lot of bands back in the day, like being very snobby with like fucking music and shit. And it's like, man, this guy's a dick. But, you know, the daughter has inside information. So the
God, I'm excited to hear who this is.
Great. This is so great. This is so great. So so she said when she was younger, he came back from Tower Records with 11 boxes of records. 11
Tower
boxes.
Records, everybody?
Yeah.
Tower Records was amazing.
And apparently he bought 3 copies. 3 copies.
Okay.
of Michael Jackson's Off the Wall, which came out in 1979.
Okay.
And she was like, why did you buy three of these? And his this is so good. He's like, it's so good. He's like, he said, if he got more than one, then he could give one out as a gift.
Okay.
So that's how good he thought that album was. He's like, I have one for myself, but
I have two.
If someone hasn't heard it, I'll give that out just because it's that good. And I'm like, wow.
Okay.
That's pretty wild, right?
That is crazy.
But she also said that the song SOS by ABBA. He said that was the best pop song ever written.
I love that song.
Ever written. And you know what's funny? I'm almost in agreement with him on that.
I know. That's one of your favorite songs.
It's definitely my favorite song by them. I remember, I will never forget when John Racich, when we played that song specifically on vinyl back in, had to be the mid 90s.
Yeah.
And I could not believe how good it sounded on vinyl. Like, I listen to it now on CD, it sounds good. But on vinyl, I don't know, for whatever reason, it was like, it's still the best sounding song I've ever heard on vinyl.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is amazing. This song is so good. And the fact that Pete Townshend thought that that's the greatest pop song ever written.
That's great.
It is amazing.
I love that song.
Yeah. But Mr. Snob himself.
So
yeah. Oh yeah.
I love Adams.
Well, yeah, dude. Like, they're all like,
how do you not?
Yeah. It's like, come on. They were like one of the biggest bands of the 70s, period.
Yeah. I mean, I love all their songs.
Yeah. I mostly like their 70s stuff.
Yeah.
80s stuff kind of got a little
crazy. But didn't everybody
soft
like in the 80s?
Boring, and then they broke up. Anyway.
Well, that's a good turn.
Yeah, Jesus. All right, Jen. Well, hey, I think we're going to wrap this up, but hey.
Wrap it up.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Wrap you up.
Whoa! Everyone just calm down. And when I say everyone, I mean Jen.
I'm sorry. Can't help myself.
Is there anything you'd like to add, Jen? Well, listen, we covered Yacht Rock.
Yep.
Some of Jen's favorite singers.
Yep.
We're not talking just favorite Yacht Rock singers. We're talking some of her favorite singers. Period.
Yeah.
Right?
I love that we're like on the same page, but a little different. Like, I feel like that's a lot when you do these music countdowns.
I make sure to get your lists before you listen to these episodes.
And it's funny to listen to everybody's lists because, well, the last one I didn't get a chance to before I listened to the pod, but before that, like, I would literally listen and write down my answers, and then I would listen, and I'm like, Josh and I are like right there. Like, we're the same. So, but different. So it is funny how like we're kind of on the same page with a lot of stuff, but just different order of where we expect someone to be. But I guess that's why we get along too. So I don't know. That's why we've been together for so long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost 5 years. Oh my God.
We don't annoy each other too much, and we like a lot of the same kinds of music. So yeah.
We like a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah.
Bam.
All right. Well, you looking forward to 2025?
25. Oh
all right.
Gosh.
Let's do it.
That's
2025.
Woo! Wow. Are you guys ready for this?
Let's do it.
Are you ready? Wait, is that a song?
Yeah. There's a lot of songs called Are You Ready?
Are you ready?
All right. For Jen Young, I'm Josh. And as always, thank you for being a friend.